Let's look at the solutions of algebra by a function fx is defined as fx is equal to 2 raised to the power 2x by 3 within these brackets and 2 raised to the power 2x plus 1 divided by 3 for all real x, where x is the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Find the value of f30. So effectively we are looking for f30, which is going to be equal to 2 raised to the power 60 by 3 plus 2 raised to the power 61 by 3. Hopefully you are able to infer that given that we have to deal with very large numbers, 2 raised to the power 60 is a very large number, we don't really have to work here. We have to work with smaller numbers, identify a pattern, and then get to a result. So I'm saying let us try and identify f1. f1 would be equal to 4 by 3. Okay, I should also put this down now. 4 by 3 plus 2 raised to the power 2x plus 3. So yes, 8 by 3, which is equal to 1 plus 2, or is equal to 3 itself. Okay, let me put down f2. f2 would be equal to 2 raised to the power 4 by 3. So 16 by 3 plus 32 by 3. So 5 plus 10. It should be equal to 15. Next is f3. I have 64 by 3 plus 128 by 3. So I'll get 21 plus 42 or equal to 63. Now I've got these terms, and probably from the first term itself you can see the pattern that is emerging. Can you see this is as good as 2 square minus 1? So whatever numbers whose f we are finding, we have to take double of that as power of 2 and subtract 1 from it. Is that the pattern we are getting for the second term also? 2 raised to the power 4 minus 1. Very much so. We have 2 square here, we have 2 raised to the power 4 here. Let's see in the third case, are we getting 2 raised to the power 6 minus 1? Very much so. Double of 3 is 6. We've got this. So if I'm looking for f30, can I straight away go 2 raised to the power 16 minus 1? According to the pattern that we have seen, this is what will get identified. So answer has to be option B. Next one, find the maximum value of y if y is equal to min of some expression and some expression, and x lies in the range minus 7 to 5. Okay. Now see here, ideally what should have happened here? Ideally what should have happened here is you should engage in graphing and all of that. Otherwise what you can do is, for two expressions that are with a min function, you have to find their max value. You equate them. Which will give you x is equal to minus 8. Which will give you x is equal to minus 8. The problem with this is it is not within these ranges. It is not within this range, x being within minus 7 to 5. So this is definitely not acceptable. So the other two limit points that you have to check are x is equal to minus 7 and x is equal to 5. You simply have to check these points. Going ahead, 2x minus 1 and 3x plus 7. What values will they take? Minus 7. This will give me minus 15 and this will give me minus 14. This will give me 9 and this will give me 22. Now, if I'm looking to maximize value of the expression of the two pairs that we have identified, whichever pair has the smaller number as the largest possible. Whichever pair has the smaller number as the largest possible, which is 9. When x is taken as 5, we get 2x minus 1 as 9. That has to be the answer. Next one, how many integral values of x will satisfy the modulus function? Mod of 2x minus 1 minus 4 is less than 30. Okay, this is a heavy graphing question. So how we go about solving it is, first you draw this mod graph. It will be equal to 0.5. The slope here is 2. The slope here is -2. Then from this, you are subtracting 4. So this graph gets pulled down. And now we have this available. At 0.5, I am achieving a value of -4. Now, in order to identify which points they are cutting the x-axis at, all you need to look for is from -4, you have to achieve value 0. From -4, value of y, or the value of the expression, has to go from -4 to 0. And the slope of this line was anyway 2. So in 2 steps it will go. So from 0.5, you go 2 forward. You reach this as 2.5. This is where x-axis is being cut. On the left-hand side, you also go 2 backwards. From 0.5, 2 backwards, you reach -1.5. Now the fun thing is, this is modded all over again. So now the graph that we have is something like this. This is 0.5. This is -1.5. This is 2.5. The graph will go something like this. And now this has to be less than 13. So we draw a line y equal to 13. We have to identify what will be the x coordinate for y is equal to 30. The slope still remains 2 here, slope still remains -2 here, slope still remains 2 here, slope still remains -2 here. So from 2.5, if I have to reach, from 0, if I have to reach 13, I will take 6.5 steps. So from 2.5, 6.5 further, at x equal to 9. At x equal to 9, you will get precisely the value of the expression equal to 13. Similarly, if I go backwards, again I have to cross 13. So at the rate of 2, it will take me 6.5 steps. So 6.5 steps, this will get me to -8. This will get me to -8. Hopefully you can plug in these values and also check. These are the only 2 acceptable values for x that can be taken. Now, see, we are not looking for less than equal to 13, we are looking for less than 13. So the acceptable values that x can take will lie in the range -7 to +8. So -720 is 8 values. And 1 to 8 is another 8 values. So altogether, we get 16 values. Answer to the question is option C. Next question, the quadratic expression a square plus bx plus c attains a maximum value of 8 at x equal to 2. Okay. If a quadratic is attaining a maximum value, hopefully you can see it is an inverted parabola. It is something of this kind. The shape is like this. If the graph of this quadratic intersects x-axis at 2 points, one positive and other negative, then amongst A, B, C, which of them are positive? Okay. So fun things, let's see. If it is attaining a maximum value of 8 at x equal to 2, can I say maximum value is attained at -b by 2a? So we have been told -b by 2a is equal to this, or 4a is equal to -b. And because we have this inverted parabola, the first thing you can infer is a has to be negative. A is a negative number. If a is a negative number, let's say a is equal to -k, because a is a negative number, can I say I have -4k is equal to b, -b, cancel, cancel. B has to necessarily be positive. B has to necessarily be positive. This much we have identified. If B has to necessarily be positive, next thing to check, This expression had two roots, no? One positive and the other negative. So can I say product of roots will necessarily be negative? Product of roots will necessarily be negative, and product of roots is given by C by A, and we have been told this is negative. If product of roots is negative and A itself is negative, this will help me infer that C has to be positive. Because product of roots is negative, A itself is negative, a negative number multiplying with a negative number. What is left of C has to be a positive number. So B has to be positive, C has to be positive. The answer to the question will be option C. Last one, if X lies in the range 5 to minus 10 and Y lies in the range 7 to 10, what is the least possible value of X and Y? X minus Y mod. Okay, hopefully as soon as you see this question, you can eliminate option A as a potential answer. A will definitely not be the answer. When we're taking mod of some expression, it can either be 0 or a positive number only. So minus 2 is gone. Now, if I want minimum possible value, least possible value of X minus Y, what I would want is X and Y are as close together as possible. From a cursory glance, you can see X is a smaller number, Y is a larger number. So all you have to do is take X equal to 5, Y equal to 7. You have to get 5 minus 7 mod or minus 2 mod or 2 itself. Answer has to be option B. There is a question of simple logic instead of any high funda arithmetic ideas. Hope you learned something. That will be all. Okay, bye.